Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. You know, I love that smokiness of the lap song. So good, guys. I hope you're joining me with your cup of coffee or a cup of tea, or as I always say, maybe something harder. Depends on what part of the planet you're on. So today's going to be a Nikon day. A lot of you have been asking me for Nikon videos because sometimes the Nikon videos I do are a little bit negative and you get upset with me. I don't want you guys to be upset. So today is going to be another Nikon video. Yesterday was a Nikon video. We're following up with the Z9 specs and release date and this type of thing. So I want to go through some of this with you and I want to know your thoughts about it. Do you think this is going to be that camera, that like D850 that just blows up, makes them a ton of money? But of course on the mirrorless side. So I want to get your opinion on it. So let's get into it. But before I do, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded my ebook or any of my ebooks as of yet, go and head over to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. There are a few freebies over there that you can get for absolutely zip. 10 tips at making tack sharp images. There's something there for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a professional, a pro-am, or an amateur, you're going to glean something from that book. Also, the prologue to this book that was just released, How to Create a Digital Fort Knox, backing up your digital life. That is going quite well. You can find it on Amazon if you want to have a Kindle copy, or you can go over to my website and download the freebie or the full book right there. So let's get right into it. So we've seen a lot of images that came out of the Olympics that were from the Nikon Z9. Now this obviously, some of the photographers out there are using them and testing them out. And these images are really quite amazing. They look fantastic. Now, all of the XF data has been neutered off these images, so we don't know all of the specs of the camera as well as what's going on because they don't want to give away too much before the formal announcement. Now, I'm going to get into when I think that formal announcement will come out as well as the release of this camera before the end of this video, so hang tight. Also, I've been getting comments from photographers saying, what exactly is this Z9? What is it going to be? It's going to be their flagship of what? What kind of combination? Just think of the Z9 as a combination of their D6 as well as a D850 married together. That's basically what this is. But of course, it's going to be a professional full frame camera that has an integrated grip, just like the D6 or the previous D5. All right. Now, the Z9 will be a direct competitor with the Canon flagship, which will be their EOS R1, not the EOS R3. We get that all the time. People are like, I don't understand. What's going on here? The R3 specs are just not the same as what we're seeing with it. They're not going to be. Wait for the R1 specs and you're going to see they're very comparable. Now, of course, the price difference between an R3 and an R1 will probably be like $1,000 difference. So, like I said, hang in there. Also, I've been getting a lot of, let's say, split opinions, about 50-50 from photographers in the comments as well as over on our creative Discord server. You can find that over at community.jcristina.com. If you don't know, go check it out, join, it's free. And the photographers, like I said, it's a 50-50 split saying, is the Sony Alpha 1 a competitor to the R1 and the Z9? Some people say yes, absolutely, because the specs are the same, let's say, or as good or even better. Whereas other photographers are saying absolutely not because it's not a ruggedized camera like we see with these integrated vertical grip cameras of the professional nature, let's say, from Canon as well as Nikon. So it's just 50-50. Where are you? I'll let you be the judge. Where do you stand on it? Is that Sony Alpha 1 a competitor to the R1 or the Z9 to come, or is it not? Will Sony come out with an integrated grip camera? Or will they stick with a camera where you can buy a battery grip and stick it in the bottom like they do now? What do you guys think? So let's get into some of these specs. I hate specs, but I'm going to blow through them really quick. And I have to give these to you because this is current. This is as of today. Some things have changed, some things have stayed the same, but I want to get into them with you right now. So it will have a 45 megapixel high resolution stacked FX sensor, right? It's going to be a brand new revised sensor from scratch. It will do 8,256 by 5,504 pixels. Now, on a side note, once again, people are saying that why is Canon only at 24 megapixels with their professional integrated grip body, professional camera, whatever, in comparison to 45? Once again, the R1 will be the flagship and it'll probably be right around 45 megapixels, whereas the R3 is not their flagship. That's why it's 24 megapixels, period. There's your answer. Next, instead of 30 frames per second, like the other cameras will shoot burst, what they're saying is Nikon Z9 will be able to do 120 up to 160 frames per second burst rate. But the caveat here, and what no one says, is yeah, that is the case, but you're not going to be shooting 45 megapixel images. You're going to be shooting like 5 or 6 megapixel images. So who cares? I mean, I don't know what you want to do with a 5 megapixel image. That's literally like 15 years ago with my original 1D that I bought for $7,000 some. That shot 4.2 megapixels, I think. I don't think you want that in 2022, you know? Anyways, moving on. So this camera will be able to support 8K. So it'll do 8K video. It'll do 8K 30p as well as 4K at 120p, 60p as well as 30p. That is to be expected. Also, it'll have built-in GPS, that is the GNSS or Global Navigation Satellite System. That is built in, that's fantastic. Also blackout free. The EVF will probably be around, let's say 6 megapixels, but blackout free. And that is what professionals and what everyone wants. Now, as far as the batteries go, if you have a whole stack of D6 batteries for your older camera and you bought this, all those D6 batteries will fit in there. But they will be introducing a brand new battery, an 18 type, let's call it. That battery will be similar to the D6 battery, but it will be able to be charged internal to the camera using USB-C. That is fantastic. I want a few of those. That is great. Also internally, it will have built in a multi-leaf blade shutter to protect the sensor when changing lenses. So whenever you shut the camera off, boom, the sensor is covered and protected. So you can swap out your lenses and don't worry about dust and debris getting onto it. That is fantastic. Also, they're going to be adding in car AF, car tracking or whatever. The same as their animal tracking and their people autofocus tracking and so on and so forth. They're basically adding in automobiles. Also, it'll be able to do tracking, low light tracking, all the way down to -7 EV, which is nice. Also, they're going to have improved 3D tracking and a newly designed, fully articulating screen on the back that works in portrait mode. That is super cool. I like that. I love a fully articulating back panel, just like what Canon just did with their R3. I just think that that is the future. All cameras are going to have that. And why do I say that? Because not everyone is using these cameras for photo. They're using them for video. Some people are hybrid shooters like I am, and I use them for photo as well as video, and having a fully articulating panel on the back is awesome. And they're giving it to you in spades, also working in portrait mode, which is cool. Also, what I really love about this is they're giving you 2 CF Express memory card slots. Thank you. Thank you. Canon, with their EOS R3, they gave you 1 SD card as well as 1 CF Express. I understand this is the lower model, the entry-level professional, and most likely in the EOS R1, we will see, once again, 2 CF Express cards in there. We're not going to see 1 of each. It's not going to happen, all right? We'll see 2, just like what Nikon is doing here. Thank you, Nikon. Smart. Also, they're going to add an additional joystick selector on the back, so when you're up there close to your face, you'll be able to move that around, as well as the menu system is now tweakable by the photographer, so you can change it according to your shooting style, which is cool. And shutter release sounds are now fully customizable. So you can have it as loud as like a DX motoring through like a machine gun, or you can have it all the way back off to silent mode where there's no sound at all. which is really great. So as many of you guys have told me in the past that are Nikon shooters, when Nikon released the DSLR, the D6, it was extremely lackluster, and you ended up sticking with the D5 because of it. Whereas what Canon did is they produced a 1DX Mark III that was quite suitable or quite better than the Mark II. So a lot of people are hanging in there for the R1. Whereas right now we're seeing a lot of people getting antsy for this brand new Z9 because they're still sitting there with their D5. So that being said, there is a ton of R&D that's going into this Z9. So all those people that are sitting with their D5s, they're going to be excited, I think, once this Z9 comes out, because there is a lot of new things in here. They didn't just throw something together. They're thinking of everything, and that is really great. And I think this is going to be a good camera, a solid camera. So my hopes is it's going to be as good or as good of a seller as a D500 or D850 was, right? Because that made them a lot of money. Now, as promised, when will this be officially announced? When will it be released? Now, in my humble opinion, I think that we're going to see the announcement of the Nikon Z9 right around the holidays of this year. It'll be a big thing. But we will not see this camera shipping until probably first or even second quarter of 2022. My hopes is they'll be able to get it out before beating Canon to the punch, so to speak, with their R1. I hope Nikon can get the Z9 out there before the R1 is out there. And more importantly, once it is out there, there's enough units to go around. If you want to purchase a camera, you should be able to buy it. It shouldn't be on back order for a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. And I fear that might happen if Nikon doesn't get their supply chain in order. Right now, it's kind of whack. And I get a lot of people saying, I can't get these cameras that I want. The Z cameras, any of the Z series, Z6, Z7, it's difficult. Or if I want a D850, they're like nowhere to be found. I think someone said there was some in Germany. I don't know. So supply chain, Nikon, they need to work on it. Finally, the price. What do we think the price will be? The price on this camera is going to be between $6,000 to $7,000. I'm going to say probably right around $6,500, most likely. They might even hit $6,999. All right, because this will be flagship. They need to make money on this camera, period. When they sell a camera, they need to make $1,000 on it or a couple of grand or more. It just needs to be the case, all right? This is one of the reasons why Nikon's been shying away from the consumer grade products, because they're not making enough money. They're putting R&D into it, and they're putting time, assembly line time. Instead of making these cheaper cameras that make them no money, they're making more advanced stuff, the more pro and pro-am, prosumer type of cameras that make them more money, which is smart. Very, very smart. So anyways, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about the Z9? Are you excited about it? I'm excited about it. I hope that they just crush it. All right? We want to see Nikon just bump back up into second place. I want to see Canon and Nikon sit there in first and second place all the time, the way it used to be, where Nikon and Canon used to be, let's say, two legs on one body. One would take a step forward, and then the other one, and then the other one, and then the other one. That's the way the market moved forward for so many years until Sony came into the mix. So what happens with Sony? I don't know. I want to also hear from you about that Alpha 1. What do you think about it in comparison to this Nikon Z9 as well as the anticipated Canon EOS R1? What do you think? Are they on par? Are they not? Will Sony come out with an integrated grip in one of their cameras in the future? What do you think? I want to hear from you. So guys, if you enjoyed this, even just a tad, give it a thumbs up. If you absolutely hate it, give it 2 thumbs down. That would be okay, I suppose. No, it won't. Give it a thumbs up, all right? And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel and click this little bell icon. Hopefully it works. Usually it doesn't, but hit it anyways. So when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. Also, if you want to pick up my book, head over to JCristina.com/books. Go check it out. You can get a signed copy of that, or you can get a PDF, or you can go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, whatever works for you. Backing up your digital life, guys. Backing up your digital life. I handhold you through the process, all right? Check it out. You're going to glean a ton from that book. I promise you. I promise you. Also, if you haven't went over to our creative Discord server, go to community.jcristina.com. If you want to contribute to the channel, you can do so in multiple ways. You can click down here, the join button. You become a member. I can give you perks for doing so. If you just want to send me $1 or $2, maybe for a cup of tea, you can use this link here, jctipjar@gmail.com. That is my PayPal account. You can send over a couple of bucks if you so desire. Also, now we have something down here under every video. It has a little $sign. It has thanks next to it. If you click that, you can give the channel a couple of bucks. It's just a way of saying thank you, and I think YouTube gives us the majority of that money instead of taking half or all of it, as they do a lot. Anyways, you can click on that also. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the many years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.